Yes, sir. It is Power Mornings. Teddy Mora, Melissa Rios, and this is a real, real honor to sit down with this man, the myth, the legend, Bronx's own Swizz Beatz. Swizz Beatz. Good morning, family.
Zone, zone, zone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Is it crazy that I want to salute you with ad libs like Showtime? Like it's just and
Showtime.
how often does that happen to you, bro?
Oh man, every day, every day.
What's the one you hear the most?
Now I hear zone, zone, zone.
Yeah, zone, zone,
Zone,
zone.
zone, zone is in full effect. Now I hit him with the za, 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 za.
That's what we're moving on now. I love that. I love that, man. Listen, it's crazy to get to sit down with you this week. It's a big week. For those of you who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Swizzy is he produced the posthumous DMX album Exodus, and this is the reason why we are here, is to shine light on something that you've been working on for quite some time, and it is very impactful. Obviously due to the unfortunate passing of DMX. So we're here today. We're talking about something that you put, your energy, your heart, your soul into. Let's talk about Exodus. Let's talk about this album, this DMX posthumous album.
Well, I wouldn't call it a posthumous album because he did 100% of it while he was here.
True.
This wasn't a record that we put together because he passed away. This was a record that we did together while he was here. He picked every song. He approved every feature. The only feature he didn't get to approve was Moneybag Yo, because that song, we had Pop Smoke on it. But then they ended up using the verse that we had, so we couldn't use that on the record. But X was inspired after doing verses with Snoop, and we stayed in the studio from that point on and worked on the whole album. The album was completed. And then he was about to get into his next phase, which was his workout plan. He was going to do a workout plan for 2 months before we was going to come with the record. And that was the plan.
Man, May 28th, Friday. That's when we're getting this DMX album. We're going to call it album. You're right. He recorded while he was here. He approved. He was behind. He was in that process, in the music making process. I want to circle back. I want to circle back a little bit to the verses, because the verses inspired the album, right? Getting him to do this, scale to 1 to 10, to do the verses, to come back, just come back from his own exodus, really, right? How hard was that? Scale to 1 to 10 to get X to do the verses.
Well, he took a little time. But I knew that him seeing other people do it that he respect, just like everybody that do verses, it's like, because X thing is like, he's a battle rapper. He's like, like, I'm not coming to play around. Like I want to battle. Like that's what X grew up on, battle. He's a real battle rapper. But then when he understood the concept of celebrating with another artist, he was a big fan of Snoop's. So that was kind of, I brought it up and he was just like, you know what? I'll do that. And I explained to him the rules and everything. And he knew it wasn't a lyrical battle. It was more celebrating by playing each other's hits. And once he got that concept, he was good.
Was Snoop always the top of the list for you? Or was there somebody that,
For X?
For X, yeah. Was it always Snoop? Was that a given?
I just like the ideas of the two dogs. They never collaborated before. And I just thought it was a great concept, because X would only do a verses with somebody he respects, and he respects Snoop. And I don't know. I just knew that the energy was going to be what we seen. Yeah. Like Snoop has a great energy.
Legendary.
He was going to loosen up X because, the other person had to be like Snoop.
Yep.
With the energy, because any other energy, you would have threw his energy off, and we'd have had a different type of verses.
And they definitely, both of them set the bar very high to what now we expect a versus should be. It should be fun. It should be like a camaraderie. It was just so fun. We all enjoyed seeing it. Now, because you said he was very selective, or you felt like it was going to be very selective of who you put him in that room with, what about the features? Because I know that there was a time where he was just like not messing with features, and he did mention that thanks to you, it was later on an option. What was that conversation like?
I just felt that we need to come back strong, and I was saying to him that the world should know that other people love you as well. And we shouldn't run from the features. And when I realized why he didn't want the features, it made sense. X didn't really mess with features because he just didn't want to have to call people and ask them to do things and get on the album, and maybe somebody's not calling back, and maybe feel like he gotta, it gets funny when you ask for features. So once he knew that I was on the job of getting the features, he was cool with it. He was like, "Oh, you gonna handle that?" I said, "Yes."
Oh,
he said,
Swizz got
we
it.
Good. We good. And I get to do less work. Oh, let's go.
Oh, man. Listen,
so that's
the album Exodus, Friday, May 28th. Make sure you go stream that. Whatever you want to do, man, just go listen to the music. Now, Swizzy, DMX, those things it's a perfect combo. When we think about legendary combos, you got Kobe and Shaq. You know what I'm saying? You got so many people you think about. And this stat or this rumor, this story that it's insane to me. The first beat that ever got placed or that you ever made for X is Ruff Ryders Anthem, right? That can you confirm that? Because that's the story that's been going on forever. Was Ruff Ryders Anthem Swizz Beatz' first beat?
It wasn't my first beat for sure, but it was my first beat that let the world know that we coming with a movement. People wanted to know my name after that beat, because before that I had Banned from TV out. I had some songs with Flip Mode Squad, with Buster. I had different tracks out before. I had the Cameron album that I worked on before the DMX album, before Stop Drop came out. But when Stop Drop came out, my life changed, still to this day from Stop Drop. So I can say it was my first beat that took me to the next level.
Got it. I mean, and can we, is it good to say, fair to say that song specifically, biggest hip hop song in history, Ruff Ryders Anthem?
In my history, yes.
I think you're being humble.
So since you guys have so much history together and you guys will go way back, and like you say, you guys have been through a lot, what is one of your most probably memorable memories with him throughout the entire process, you and X?
So many, it's like, having a kid or having a brother, and it's like you've been through so much with them and you live with them, and but my memory of X is, he was definitely a philanthropic person. I just couldn't believe how giving he was. He would take the clothes off his back and give it to a person in need. He would pray for other people before he prayed for himself. He would feed other people before he feed himself. He wasn't about no materialistic things. He was a very simple guy, play with remote control cars, want to ride four-wheelers. He was very simple, but I just remember like him just always being hungry to go get it, and he was very competitive, but his heart was always in the right place. He always had love.
Has this been hard for you? I mean, you're also mourning the loss of a friend, of a brother, of family, and you're out here still working, obviously working. Yeah. And so has that been hard for you to kind of have these conversations and show face when really you're still mourning the loss of someone so close to you?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it look good, but I'm definitely destroyed. I'm definitely hurt. It's definitely a lot. And to go straight into the album and give the people what he wanted them to have, I had to do that. I didn't want to wait, and because he didn't want to wait. He wanted this record to be out even before, but we had to do clearances and things like that. So that was taking the time, and we was gonna go into the workout phase while we was getting the business done. But it definitely jumps on me sometimes. Like I couldn't hear Ruff Ryders Anthem. I'm just now able to hear Ruff Ryders Anthem without it taking me out, because there was so many memories of us being young and not knowing what we was doing, but we was having fun.
Yeah.
And, we was two kids having fun when we dropped that record, and we couldn't believe people liked it. We was like, it was like, we got them,
I think it's important to after this album, after this process, to take time and to just kind of be, in your own space. I know for me, like when I lost my dad, I just kept working, and I got to provide, and it took a while for me, to really go through my own process. So I wish peace on you on that.
Thank you.
And we do want to celebrate you too, though. Like Swizzy, for real, I know it's you. You're you every day. But the things that you have accomplished, since I know I don't want to go because I'm not from New York. So from the moment you came into our stratosphere, like 9/8, like it's just insane. From the music to the art collecting to the entrepreneurship to the the verses. You did that. So hopefully we have to go through that. Like you did that, man. Like so I know with verses. We had the Hot 97 performance, right? You and Tim on the stage. What prompted that? Because if that sparked verses, what prompted that performance?
Well, me and Tim had a plan to do our album together and verse with that. And then we planned on going on tour and verse with that. And so we used the Summer Jam stage at that time to test it.
Got it.
And it was a good vibe. But, before that, I did it with Just Blaze. And then before that, I did it with Kanye on Summer Jam as well. Because I always knew, like, when creatives get together and celebrate and have a little bit of competitive spirit with it, I always knew that was going to be something. But, what me and Tim did on Instagram Live is what worked. And that's what I stuck with.
Isn't that funny? Something so simple. Like you just took your phone out. Not to say that it was like easy, because you got to be a legend to do it. I'm just saying something so simple. Pick up your phone. Let's get it cracking.
Let's get it cracking. Because he was poking at me that day. He was poking at me with tracks, and I was like, "Oh, you want to start it up? This is what we doing." Like,
zone.
I said, okay, well let's we could do it in an hour. And he was like, "All right, let's do it in an hour." We didn't promote it. We didn't do nothing, and we had 20,000 people at that time. We was like, "Oh, we lit."
Oh, this was in a group chat. Like this was like, is it group chat or is this just like you and him just texting back and forth?
It's just me and him on live by ourselves.
Like let's do this. Like let's just do it right now.
5 hours. We did our verses was 5 hours.
Come on now.
And that's the hard part because we, I'm doing a rematch this Sunday in Miami at Live.
Yeah.
And the hardest part is like, I don't have the freedom to just let it fly. Like I got to really pick 20 records.
Yeah.
Last time we had 5 hours. This time we have 2 hours, so it's 3 hours of music that I can't play.
I mean, if anybody can push the limits, it's the creators of verses. I mean, if y'all can do it forever,
No, we can't. We can't because this is Live on Sunday. It's an active night. Like we're gonna be so early. Yeah. We gotta be tight on schedule. We're not doing no intermissions. We're gonna do everything in the verses that we want other people to do.
Oh,
do you have a list that maybe you would like to share with us of upcoming verses? We would love to hear that.
Yeah, we're working on the calendar now. We're just closing up a couple of business things.
Okay, like
it's a real business company now. So,
it is.
We got to go through paperwork and different things with the artists.
I mean, you guys went from having Wi-Fi problems to just lighting to now it's like you said, a whole business we all look forward to. We all put it in our calendar. We talk about it on air. Like, this is going down. You have to watch this. This is what's happening. And then it's the next day. It's everything anyone's talking about. And so it's just kind of like you guys really took it to a whole nother level. Are you thinking of going to different, because I know that this had been a topic of conversation before, of is there going to be like a Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera versus, or you're just not, you're keeping this the way it was intended to be for the culture?
I mean, music is the culture. I don't think the culture should just be based on a color or gender or things like that. For me, I'm a real artist, and I feel that when the time comes for those verses to happen, you just got to read the room. I just know right now we have a long list of people that we've been working on for a long time that we're going to announce, and we're going to Africa with it. We're going to different places with it. We're coming to the Latin world with it. We got a lot of things, and I'm sure we can end up in a lot of those different places.
I'm just going to throw one out there. I just want you to get Teddy the credit if it happens. Check me out on this one. I'm thinking old school, new school. I'm thinking Latin. I'm thinking reggaeton. Fill me on this one real quick, Swizzy.
I'm listening.
Daddy Yankee.
Okay.
Bad Bunny. I'm just saying. Like, I know you could go Don Omar with it. I know. You could go Don Omar, Daddy Yankee. All of South America and Central America and Puerto Rico will go crazy for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was my favorite. That was my top.
Listen, you hold on. You mentioned Ye. Listen, Swizzy, he just like, you know, he throws Kanye in there. He says Ye.
So
Because
casual.
DMX. The thing about X that everyone always points out is like, yo, those first albums, the way they sold, the way he was moving, insane. They say that is the greatest first years of anyone's career. But you know, Kanye had his run, and even Drake has his run. For the first 3 or 4, let's go 5 years. The first 5 years, who had the biggest run / impact? You still sticking with X now that we think of, like, now that we really like, we went back and reviewed it? Or are we going with Kanye? Are we doing Kanye? What are we thinking here? First 5 years.
I think they're two different categories. I think that, you know, I think that what X did, it would never be done again, even if people caught up to numbers and things like that. You know, but at the time when we came into the music and disrupted things, it was more than songs. It was an entire movement. Not saying that anyone else don't have a movement, but I'm telling you, you know, the presence of X alone is bigger than his music. You know, the music was just the icing on the cake. You know, when you got a person up there praying in front of 50,000 people at a show, you got gangbangers crying, you got serious street people crying, like nobody was doing that. Like, his presence and his setup was just different. You know, nobody was thinking about bikes and things like that until we came on the scene. Like, they was playing with them, but they wasn't owning them. They wasn't shutting down the blocks. You know, the dogs, like he just came with a lot of different things. And so, like, when we comparing artists, I look at the whole scope of things. Like, a lot of people have great records, and, you know, Kanye is definitely a masterful artist. Drake is definitely a masterful artist for sure. You know, Drake just got the artist of the decade, you know, well earned and deserved. And you look at Hove, you know, like, these guys are big guys, you know, but X was always on his own island.
Man, you didn't even mention the movies. I was waiting for you to say that. Like, I want you to talk that talk.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, like, that man was, his movie game alone was crazy.
Crazy.
You know, starting
was it
from
10
Belly.
mil? It was like 10 mil a movie? Is that what he was getting back
15
then?
million a movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
forgot the 5 mil, Melissa.
Speaking of movies, is there going to be any, like, footage about
good question.
the making of the album, or any, like, behind the scenes? Did you guys get any of that stuff?
Yeah, we recorded the whole process, you know, but for me, I don't want to just put out footage. I want it to be a work of art, like the album is. So it has to be curated, you know, it needs to be curated as art. And just like how you see in the trailers roll out, everything is just, you know, I want it to be X. I don't want it to be some footage that is just put out there and it's like, damn, you know, I want people to be inspired, you know, to work on their craft and to take these moments that my brother left and be inspired by it. So that has to come with, like, great curation and direction. And so when we get to that point with it, then I think we let it fly.
Nah, we definitely know it's gonna be tasteful and art, you know, artistic. It's you, man. You're the art collector, because that's what I want to ask you about too. This art game, this collecting art, like how and why? We all get inspired. It's either by a person or in a room that we're in. Like, what prompted that from you? Because, you know, that's what I known you for. And then I'm like, what is he doing now? Like, what is he investing in now? You know? So let's start with the art first. What prompted that, man?
I mean, growing up in the South Bronx, art has always been around me. I always been collecting art for over 20-some years. But it was, you know, when I was collecting art, it wasn't cool to collect art. It was kind of a nerdy, quirky thing. But I was collecting, you know, art for the wrong reasons at first. I was collecting art to impress CEOs and things like that would come to my house. You know, Clive Davis was to come over. He could see that I have a Chagall too.
Okay.
I have a Miro too. You know, so
I don't know what those are, but I believe you. You could have said anything. You could have been like the Ramones. I would have been like, dope.
You know, but I just wanted people to understand I wasn't just on a musical level. I was on an overall taste making level, and I just wanted them to respect, you know, all sides, not just for me making a beat, but just my taste level of where I'm at. I'm not to be compared to maybe a lot of people that walked in and out those doors. And I always, like, you know, be aficionado with art, be aficionado with wine, be aficionado with watches, cigars, cars, like all of those different things that I love. You know, I either designed for them already, or I've been to the factories.
Dang.
Because we out here just buying things. We don't know what the factories look like. We don't know the movements in our watch. We don't even know where it comes from. We're just buying things, and I think that we should do more homework on the things that we're buying and see how we can insert that information to step things up.
Talk. We're going on tour. Motivational speaking, bro. We'll open up for you. Man, that's the stuff when we're gonna sit down with Swizzy. I want to make sure we get those gems because we can all benefit from that. Like, you know, just we gotta start looking at like, why are we spending money here? Like, what are we putting our money into?
Consumers and not investors.
Now, you're also, you know, you set the bar when it comes to relationships, man. You know, you've been you've been married to Alicia for over 10 years. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That's crazy.
It's a long time.
It's a very long time. Now,
Swizzy.
Yeah, I know. No, Swizzy, your boy Teddy, he's engaged. Okay, I'm gonna get married next year. I want to have a beautiful relationship like you and Alicia have. What are some tips that you can give somebody? Give me some marriage tips, bro. Like the 3 things I should not do or I should do.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that you shouldn't do, both of y'all, is go into the relationship thinking that you own each other. You know, everyone is their own boss. Everyone should be their own boss. She should be her own boss. You should be your own boss. You shouldn't go into it like it's a piece of property. You should go into it like it's a friendship. You know, when you have a best friend, you don't own that best friend. You love that best friend. You trust that best friend. You communicate with that best friend. And that's the other thing that I'm going to is communication. Me and my wife, we haven't raised our voice in over 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Because there's communication. And the reason why people argue is because they let so much build up because they're not having communication. And when it comes out, it's all these, it's madness. But when you actually think about it, you don't hear each other through the madness. All you know is y'all was just mad at each other, but y'all never got things cleared and had a conversation to get things fixed. And in order to fix things, you have to listen to each other. You know, yeah, man. Those are the 2 most powerful ones: is the communication and the ownership part.
I don't even know I want to apologize, but I'm sorry, baby, if I ever did any of those things. Swizzy corrected me. But yeah, man, once again, Exodus is out this Friday, the 28th. DMX's album is so much thought, love was put into this, so go check it out. You already know he's throwing up the X and for the Bronx, too. That's what we're doing. And, of course, you will be getting busy this Sunday versus against Timbaland, the rematch. I'm putting my money on Swizzy. Swizzy.
Yeah, but Tim is serious. He got them Aaliyah records, man. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
Those Aaliyah records is painful.
But you got a couple. You got a couple in the chamber. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. Truly a pleasure. And anytime, the doors are always open. You already know it's Power 106 LA. It's family, Swizzy. Zone.
Zone. Let's get it.